In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to install a backdrop system that doesn't require any stands. The one we got was just off Amazon. It was about $100, but surprisingly, the quality is pretty good. So I'm going to walk you through how to install it because the instructions are actually terrible. So I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video about it to show you how. So in this video, we'll be installing a 3 backdrop system on the wall behind me. All right, so this backdrop system comes with a bunch of stuff. So we have these 3 metal tubes, a bunch of the end pieces. It has the clips in the weight that hang on either side. It has a bunch of these bolts, and I will explain what these are in a second, so how you use those. It comes with these very, very bad instructions, so I'm not even gonna use those. Get that out of here. And then it also comes with the wall clamps themselves. So these can actually go against the wall, or they can go right against your ceiling. And that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna put these right into the joist on the ceiling, right into the wood. I could put them on the wall, but behind the drywall is actually aluminum studs and then concrete, and it's not the best to support the weight of the backdrop system. So that's why I'm deciding to go off the wood joist in the ceiling. So that's what we're gonna do today. It comes with 2 of those. This system comes with a whole bunch of these bolts with these weird metal cylinder things. And at first I was like, what the heck is this thing? How do you even use it? It makes no sense. But I did some more research, and the way it works is there's these little flaps that have little slits in them, and it fits over there. You drill a hole into the surface that matches the diameter of this so it can fit in. And then when you feed the bolt through and tighten the nut, it increases the diameter of the flaps at the end, so they kind of open up and get stuck like a drywall anchor, and that's how those work. Because I'm going straight into the joist, I don't really need to use these, so I'm just going to sort of disregard those and instead just use long screws, like maybe 2.5 or 3-inch screws. Also, the system comes with 1 metal tube. Even though you can set up 3 backdrops with this system, you will need to get additional metal tubes, or you could use like a length of PVC pipe as an alternative. So that's probably a little cheaper if you want to go that route. And for us, for the time being, I'm just going to set up the 1 white paper backdrop, so the 1 metal tube is enough. All right, first we'll put together the metal tube. And as you fit it in, there are 2 holes that you can match up, and then there's a piece that you can tighten to expand the inside piece. So that's 1 piece. And then we'll do the next one. Our backdrop is about 9 feet long. This is longer than 9 feet, it's actually closer to 10 feet. Keep that in mind when you're installing yours. You want to pick the joist or the distance between the 2 brackets that match this metal tube, not your actual backdrop. And for that reason, it actually is okay to have a little bit of space on either end of the tube. I was trying to figure out the best way to install the brackets on the ceiling, and because the metal tube is a sort of random size, it doesn't match the 16-inch joists that run across the ceiling. Therefore, one of them would be in the joist and the other one would just be sort of sitting into drywall, which obviously isn't good for strength. Instead, I cut 4 pieces of wood, just 2x4s, into 2-foot sections. And I'm gonna have 2 pieces connecting, so on either side will be into 1 joist, and then the other one will be the exact same. This way, the 2 pieces of wood on either side get strength from the joist, and then the bracket itself gets strength from being attached directly to the 2x4s. So I think that's a better, safer way to hang these than missing the joist. So also keep that in mind. All right, I have the 2 pieces of wood installed on the ceiling now. Next, I will take the bracket and figure out a place along the pieces of wood to install it. Having the pieces of wood allows me to put it anywhere I want. Before, I was limited to just the joists in the ceiling, which were one right here and one right here. you want to do before you put on the other bracket is grab these two weird plastic pieces that come with the kit. On one of them, you'll have this plastic piece that spins. What you want to do is decide which side of the backdrop you want the chain pulley system to be. That's the side you're going to have the white spinny thing on. So you take the piece, and then where the cap ends, that's where you place it inside the tube. And then you just rotate the end. What that does is it expands the part that sits inside the tube so that it sort of becomes one solid piece. So that feels good on that side. Let's do the other side now. So same thing, place the end cap right at the end of the tube and then tighten it. And then just past the tube, it has this plastic thing, and that's the piece that connects it to the bracket. My neck and my arms are so tired. Oh my God. Thank you. This thing is amazing. This thing is actually amazing.
5 minutes later.
Ooh. Oh man, my neck muscles are so sore. So now we can attach the bracket to this side, but first I need to figure out how far that metal tube is. I need to get this piece in the slot on the bracket. I have the metal tube connected to the other bracket, and just before we put on this bracket, we need to make sure that we're installing it at the right space. This is the reason why I use the 2x4 system, because now I have something to connect the bracket to and I don't need to follow where the studs are exactly. Also, on this end piece, if you twist this and loosen it, you can slide this left and right and you'll get maybe 3 or 4 inches of play. If you install the bracket and it's not exactly perfect, you can make micro adjustments and get it to fit in a better position. So what I'm gonna do is roughly mark where I need the bracket. And then now I can take the metal tube down, install the bracket, put on the paper backdrop, and then we're good to go. Okay, so the brackets are up and installed. Eventually we'll paint them white so they look a little better. In order to put the white paper backdrop on the metal tube, I need to take off this end piece. The reason I put it on before is because I needed to make sure that the distance was correct in order to mount the two brackets, but now that that's done, I can simply take that off for a second. So now the paper is on, we can take our end piece again and put it back on. So on this side we have this white piece, and on the white piece it has a couple inserts, so it can be configured in a couple different ways based on the slot on the bracket, so make sure it is horizontal. I have the paper backdrop installed now, but it spins on the tube. So I'm gonna cut up some shims, just some wood shims, and sort of wedge it in there to prevent the paper backdrops from spinning. Here are the wood shims. I have these little pieces that I cut. So we can use these to wedge in between the metal tube and the paper backdrop. Now I have that wedged in here, and I'll do the same thing to the other side. This is actually impossible to film with a baby.
Uh-oh, she's coming.
Hi, Amelia.
Oh my God.
So I probably have about 30 seconds before she gets back over here. Okay, you feed this through the white clip at the top, and then it basically just makes a loop, and then the weight gets placed on the bottom. That's essentially how this system is set up, so we're gonna do that now. Maybe she'll help me do it. Oh, here she comes.
Well, she's lost interest and you're fired, Amelia. Those damn Gen 2020ers don't have any work ethic, do ya?
Instead of trying to explain how you set it up, I'll just show you. You grab one end of the chain and then just underneath the white square piece, feed it over. Then you grab the weight. You connect the two pieces and then you can just let that hang. All right, so now that we have it down a bit, it's starting to roll because it doesn't have a lot of weight at the bottom, so I'm going to use pony clamps to weigh it down. And I have the backdrop finished. So that only took about an hour and a half. It was pretty straightforward to do, but yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I think coming up with the 2x4 system to install the brackets on the ceiling worked out really well, so I would recommend that if you're in a similar situation. As you can see, we did not use all of the pieces. These are 2 extra pieces for one other backdrop, and then you can do a third backdrop, and then you have the chain and weight for the second and third backdrop as well. All right, so I hope you found that helpful on how to install a backdrop system. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos from us in the future. We have over 100 filmmaking tutorials on the channel that you can learn from. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.